Welcome back to the Hive Doctor, your beekeeping mentor. It's my job to take the guesswork out of beekeeping for you. Today we're going to be talking about 3 different styles of beekeeping gloves. I'm going to be going over the material, the coverage, and the quality so that you can get the right set of beekeeping gloves that are going to suit you in your operation this year. So stick around. So when it comes to beekeeping gloves, there's no pair that's going to be right for everyone, every beekeeper there is. There's a few things to consider and factor in when you're trying to get the right pair for you. And the first thing we're going to consider today is coverage. In other words, how much does the glove protect you against stings during in-hive inspections? Right now I've got my minimal style gloves on. I'm going to take those off. And we're going to move to the full coverage style so that you can see exactly what we're talking about. Right here I've got a pair of full coverage beekeeping gloves. And by full coverage it means that they're longer. They're designed to go up over the elbow, or at least just before the elbow. I'm a taller guy, so I've got long arms. And sometimes I can get these above the elbow, but through working they tend to drop down just below the elbow, but it's no big deal. These are designed to wear with a beekeeping jacket or full suit that you've got full coverage on your sleeves, because when you pull these on, they go over the sleeves of whatever suit you're wearing and they double up that protection. A full coverage glove is going to be one for those of you who are a little bit more skittish around bees. Maybe you're new or you're allergic to bees, but you weren't going to let that stop you. You want to get into beekeeping anyways. Well, this is going to be the glove style for you. So as you can see, I'm covered from fingertip to elbow. I was able to pull that over. And what you want to look for in a full coverage beekeeping glove is the material that the palm is made up of, and then the material that the rest of the glove is made up of. Let's start with the palm. I've seen beekeeping gloves available in cow leather, cowhide, goat, and pig. I don't see pig available nearly as much as the other two. This is a goat leather glove. I recommend going with this because it's going to fit more snug and give you the dexterity that you need during a hive inspection when you're lifting frames out of a hive and putting them back in. The goat leather gloves don't have a lot of extra material on the fingertips like cow leather does. For some reason, cow leather being thicker, which does give you more protection against stings because the bees will still sting the leather. It smells like an animal to them. Cow leather is a little bit thicker, but there's a lot more extra material in the ends of the fingers. On a cow leather glove, you're going to have something like this. Your thumb's only going to go so far, and then you got all this extra material on the end, and that often gets stuck underneath a frame when you're trying to put it back, and it's so frustrating because you end up kind of dropping it. The bees fall off the frame, get a little bit riled, and it just leaves you kind of frustrated. So I highly recommend a goat leather glove. And I'm a large in gloves, but I always go down a size for beekeeping gloves because it fits a little bit tighter and gives me that dexterity that I need, that I told you about earlier, for being able to really feel the frames and feel what I'm doing with my hands. The second thing to consider is I would avoid an all canvas gauntlet, which is what the rest of the glove is kind of considered. This is a gauntlet style because it goes up so far. Look for something that's going to be mesh because you want it to be breathable. It gets hot outside during the beekeeping season. If you're already dressed in normal clothes and then you put a bee suit on over that and then gloves on over that, you're really layered up. So look for something that's going to be breathable. This particular one has mesh on the top. In the middle it's got a foam layer, and in the bottom is another mesh layer. So it's triple layered, and it creates a thickness that's going to be thicker than the length of a honeybee's sting. So you're going to be protected. All right, so let's look up close so we can see the details of what I'm talking about. With a full coverage glove with the proper type of ventilation, you're going to have this outer mesh layer. And if you look closely, you'll see underneath it, there is a foam layer, and that separates this outer mesh from the inner mesh, creating a 3-layer system. And that's what I'm talking about, that 3 layers creates a depth that is more than the length of a honeybee's stinger. The third thing to consider is going to be finding a glove that has a nice elastic end on the sleeve. You want that to be able to fit snug, and that elastic is going to be what fits snug around your arm and keeps the bees from crawling in and down your glove and stinging you underneath that layer. And I just want to say before we get onto this really pathetic glove here, that I'm going to link good gloves down in the description below for you. I'm not going to link any of this crappy stuff. All right, so I was in a beekeeping supply store. I saw these, I needed gloves, but I didn't want the big, long, heavy ones. I'm not actually a fan of a lot of beekeeping protective gear. I usually come in and do my hive inspections exactly as you see me, minus a hoodie. I love to use my bare hands, and I only put on gloves when I absolutely have to. So I grabbed these for a just in case. The problem with this style, and what I mean by this style is, usually there's some kind of canvas incorporated, and it's only a mid-arm length glove, and there's no brand name on it. That's the key right there, is that it's cheap. So not long after having bought this glove, the elastic just snapped. And so now when I wear it, I've got this big gap here that bees can get into and sting me. So there's nothing keeping this secure to my arm. It does have a nice mesh here for breathability, but it's only one layer. The best thing this glove has going for it is the goat leather palm. I can still use this and have the dexterity that I need during hive inspection, but it's not worth all this extra material that's pointless and doing nothing for me. It's not serving me in any way. So avoid non-brand name stuff. It might be a little bit more affordable, but you're just going to end up replacing it later anyways. So go with something that's going to be quality. And usually that's going to be something that has some kind of brand name printed on the sleeve. The long glove that I have here is by Guardian Bee Apparel. And so far I've had this over a year and I haven't had any issues. There's no holes. It's standing up well to the work that I put it through. Granted, I don't use them a lot since I'm not a big avid user of beekeeping gloves. But that's okay, because this one, like I said, the elastic busted after just very few uses. So avoid that. And also avoid any single layer mesh unless it's reinforced with some kind of hard plastic to keep that away from your arm so that the bees, should they get on there and try to sting through it, they can't reach your skin. Here's the glove that I should have never bought and that I don't recommend to you. It's the half arm length unbranded glove. This is a nice mesh material, but it's only one layer. So right here it's actually touching against my skin. And if I was working a hive right now and they were getting a little aggressive, they could sting right through this and sting my wrists. All right, now we're gonna cover my favorite beekeeping glove I've ever bought. It's minimal style. It's considered a tactical style glove. And you've probably seen it in a lot of my videos. The great thing about this glove style is so many things. One, I've got the goat leather palms. So I've got that dexterity. These are mediums, so they fit snug, but perfect. So I've got the goat leather palms on the top of my hand. I've got that 3-layer mesh going on, so they're breathable. There's a foam layer, a mesh layer, and then the bottom layer is actually, looks like some sort of elastic breathable mesh. I've got Velcro on the cuffs that I can tighten the cuffs with, and I can use these as they are. And here's my Apis tactical style beekeeping glove. Nice stitching on the palm. This isn't going to fall apart anytime soon. It's a nice cuff material, and this Velcro comes over, tightening that up just perfect for me. No bees can get in here too badly. There is a little bit of a gap, but most of the time I'm not doing this motion while I'm checking bees. And of course on the top of the thumb and the rest of my hand, I've got that upper mesh layer. Below that you can see the yellow, that's the bottom layer. That's a breathable mesh as well, but it's a much more fine mesh. And then in between the two, what you see as this honeycomb shape, is a nice thick black foam layer. So it makes this beekeeping glove breathable, minimal, and tough for a lot of work. So I can go from hive to hive, pull these gloves on and off as I need them. They're not cumbersome, which is why they're my favorite. The great thing about these gloves is you can still use them with a jacket and veil or a full suit, because those sleeves are designed to go up and over the cuff length here. I'm going to pull my hoodie up a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So that's as long as these gloves are. And these are super easy to take off. Boom, undo the Velcro, and I'm good. But these are great to have on the go. They're not too long for me. So if you're a person that is not so skittish around bees, you just want something to protect your hands, this is the way to go. And one thing not to overlook when it comes to choosing a great quality pair of beekeeping gloves is the stitching. Look at the stitching, check it out. You may not know much about stitching. Check it out, look at the pair of gloves, look at the stitching and see if it's something that's flimsy or if it's something you think will actually hold on and last for a long time. And remember, anything that I link below is going to be a quality glove I believe will work for you and last for some time to come. Don't forget to take care of your stuff and it'll last you even longer. So there you have it. Let me know which one of these 3 styles appeals to you the most, which kind of style you use right now, if any, or maybe you go bare hands like I do. Either way, tell your friends about the Hive Doctor. Drop me a gloved thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next video.